Hello. Hi there, how are you? Good. It's lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in. Can I just tick you off my list here? I've got a few different people coming in today, so I want to make sure that I've got the right person. Is it Christopher? Yes. Oh, you're right on time. Thank you. Okay, so Christopher, today we're going to be doing some personality assessments. We're going to be partaking in 3 different testing today. They're all question based. I hope that's okay. So I'm going to ask you a few different questions about you and your lifestyle, what makes you tick, all based on the indicators that I have today. And basically today we're assessing the difference in results between the 3 different personality tests. So these are 3 different personality tests that are slightly varying in what they assess, but ultimately they're trying to identify and predict behaviour. So we're going to be doing the classic Myers-Briggs type indicator, which you may have heard of before, introverts and extroverts, things like that. And it has 16 different personality types. We're then going to be taking part in the HEXACO personality inventory, which measures 6 different key areas of personality. That is honesty and humility, emotionality, extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness to experience. We are then doing the... My apologies, let me get it up. At the DISC, which is dominance, influence, steadiness, and consciousness. Okay? So, I'm going to begin with the DISC to begin with, just because that is our quickest test, okay? So I'm going to be just filling out an assessment form whilst I do so. Let me get this new form up for you. Okay. Just give me a moment. Okay. Okay, can I just get your date of birth, please? Okay. And where is it you're from? Just generally. Okay, and have you lived there all your life? Okay, so we're going to begin with the DISC test. I'm going to be noting down your results. Okay, so first question, how would you describe your communication style? Would you describe it as direct and to the point, precise and clear, expressive and persuasive, or calm and patient? I can repeat them. Would you describe your communication style as direct and to the point, concise and clear, expressive and persuasive, or calm and patient? Okay. While working on a project, you prefer to take charge and delegate tasks, follow instructions precisely and work harmoniously with the team, work independently and get the job done well, or collaborate with others and brainstorm ideas. How do you prefer to make decisions? By carefully analysing the pros and cons, by seeking buy-in from others, by acting quickly and confidently, or by looking at what's worked in the past? I'll read them again. by carefully analysing the pros and cons, by seeking buy-in from others, by acting quickly and confidently, by looking at what's worked in the past. Okay. At networking events, you tend to analyse the social and professional dynamics of the event, command attention and confidently introduce yourself, mingle comfortably with people you know, or enthusiastically connect with new people and swap stories. In a team setting, what role do you naturally take on? The peacekeeper, who maintains stability, the leader, who drives the team forward, the planner, who ensures accuracy, or the motivator, who keeps everyone energized. When faced with a disagreement, you would confront the issue head on and try to get it resolved quickly. Use your communication skills to smooth things over. Focus on facts and logic to find the best solution, or try to find a compromise and maintain harmony. I can read it again. When faced with a disagreement, you would confront the issue head on and try to get it resolved quickly. Use your communication skills to smooth things over. Focus on facts and logic to find the best solution, or try to find a compromise and maintain harmony. Okay. You feel most satisfied when you're inspiring others and influencing decisions, completing tasks meticulously and efficiently, taking control and achieving your goals, or collaborating with a supportive team. I'll read them again. You feel most satisfied when you're inspiring others and influencing decisions, completing tasks meticulously and efficiently, taking control and achieving your goals, or collaborating with a supportive team. How do you respond to change? I embrace it with enthusiasm and see it as an opportunity. I adapt quickly and take charge of the situation. I assess the implications and respond accordingly. I take the time to adjust gradually. One more time. Okay. How do you respond to change? I embrace it with enthusiasm and see it as an opportunity. I adapt quickly and take charge of the situation. I assess the implications and respond accordingly, or I take the time to adjust gradually. Okay. In a work environment, you value accuracy, efficiency and well-defined procedures, results and achieving ambitious goals, recognition, appreciation and good relations with others, or cooperation and a stable work environment. Do you want me to repeat them? I understand it's quite a tough question because of course you value multiple things, right? Okay, so in a work environment you value accuracy, efficiency and well-defined procedures, results and achieving ambitious goals, recognition, appreciation and good relations with others, or cooperation and a stable work environment. So just which one you value most. Good. Okay. When giving feedback to a colleague, you prefer to offer constructive criticism in a private setting, deliver the message in a positive and encouraging manner, have facts and figures to back up your views, or be direct and to the point. Okay. When faced with a deadline, you focus on delivering the outcome without compromising quality, delegate tasks and focus on achieving the goal, calmly work with others to ensure everything gets done on time, or rally the team and keep everyone motivated. Okay, last question. How do you prefer to spend your free time? Enjoying quiet and relaxing activities, doing something challenging, socialising and meeting new people, or learning a new skill? Okay, so from that you have achieved steadiness. So like I said, DISC, so dominance, influence, steadiness, conscientiousness. You are steadiness. So let me just write that down for your result. DISC, steadiness. Does that sound like you? Okay, well it says here, steadiness. You're primarily a steady personality. You're dependable, patient and a team player. You value stability and consistency, and you work well in a supportive, collaborative setting. While your strength lies in consistency and loyalty, your aversion to change can sometimes hamper innovation. At 33% steadiness, that is your dominant trait, but here is how you scored in the rest. So you were 33% conscientious as well. So really, steadiness and conscientiousness. 17% dominance, 17% influence. So your results don't determine the type of person you are, and a test cannot uncover your whole personality, but it can help you to get an understanding of yourself and the way you handle certain situations. Okay, so that was the first quiz. Of course, steadiness was our resulting, so let me highlight that, and we're going to compare them now with, we'll do the 16 personalities next. So this one is the Myers-Briggs, so introvert, extrovert, that kind of thing. Okay, so this one is a little bit longer. The way that it works is you have a question and then you have agree and disagree on a scale. So you have strongly agree, agree, somewhat agree, neither agree or disagree, somewhat disagree, disagree and strongly disagree. Does that make sense? Okay, alright then, so let's begin. You regularly make new friends. Complex and novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforward ones. Complex and novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforward ones. I'll read it again. Complex and novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforward ones. You usually feel more persuaded by what resonates emotionally rather than by factual arguments. Your living and working spaces are clean and organised. Okay. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. So strongly agree, agree, somewhat agree, neither agree nor disagree, somewhat disagree, disagree, strongly disagree. You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. Okay, you find the idea of networking or promoting yourself to strangers very daunting. Okay. You prioritise and plan tasks effectively, often completing them well before the deadline. People's stories and emotions speak louder to you than numbers or data. You like to use organising tools like schedules and lists. Mine is strongly agree. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Okay. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. You are not too interested in discussions about various interpretations of creative works. Okay. You prioritize facts over people's feelings when determining a course of action. You often allow the day to unfold without any schedule at all. You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. You enjoy participating in team-based activities. Okay. You enjoy experimenting with new and untested approaches. I'll read it again. You enjoy experimenting with new and untested approaches. Okay. You prioritize being sensitive over being completely honest. Okay. You actively seek out new experiences and acknowledge areas to explore. You are prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. You enjoy solitary hobbies or activities more than group ones. Okay, you cannot imagine yourself writing fictional stories for a living. You favour efficiency in decisions, even if it means disregarding some emotional aspects. I'll read it again. You favour efficiency in decisions, even if it means disregarding some emotional aspects. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. Okay, you're doing really well. I know that it's quite a long process. We're 40% of the way through. Okay, so in disagreements, you prioritise proving your point over preserving the feelings of others. Okay, you usually wait for others to introduce themselves first at social gatherings. Same. Your mood can change very quickly. You are not easily swayed by emotional arguments. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Okay? You enjoy debating ethical dilemmas. Very good. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. I can read it again. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. When facts and feelings conflict, you usually find yourself following your heart. You find it challenging to maintain a consistent work or study schedule. You rarely second guess the choices that you have made. Okay. Your friends would describe you as lively and outgoing. Okay, we're 60% of the way through now. Okay, you are drawn to various forms of creative expression, such as writing. You usually base your choices on objective facts rather than emotional impressions. Again, you usually base your choices on objective facts rather than emotional impressions. You like to have a to-do list for each day. You rarely feel insecure. You avoid making phone calls. You enjoy exploring unfamiliar ideas and viewpoints. Okay. You can easily connect with people that you've just met. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. Okay. You're still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. You are not too interested in discussing theories on what the world could look like in the future. Okay. Your emotions control you more than you control them. When making decisions, you focus more on how the affected people might feel than on what is most logical or efficient. I can read it again. When making decisions, you focus more on how the affected people might feel than on what is most logical or efficient. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organised and consistent efforts. So when someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take for them to feel disappointed in you. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time. You feel more drawn to busy, bustling atmospheres than to quiet, intimate places. You feel more drawn to busy, bustling atmospheres than to quiet, intimate places. If a decision feels right to you, you often act on it without needing further proof. You often feel overwhelmed. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. You prefer tasks that require you to come up with creative solutions rather than follow concrete steps. You are more likely to rely on emotional intuition than logical reasoning when making a choice. You struggle with deadlines. You feel confident that things will work out for you. Okay, we're all done. We just have to place your gender and we'll see the results. Okay, so based on this, your personality type is logician. So INTP-T. Let me write that down. So based on the Myers-Briggs, we were INTP-T. Let me quickly go through your personality traits then. So, as an INTP, you possess a unique blend of intellectual curiosity analytical prowess, and a penchant for abstract thinking. Your mind is a playground of ideas, constantly exploring complex concepts and seeking to understand the underlying principles of the world around you. You approach life with a rational, logical mindset, preferring to rely on facts and reason rather than emotions or conventional wisdom. Your insatiable thirst for knowledge drives you to delve deep into subjects that capture your interest. You're not content with surface level understanding. Instead, you strive to grasp the intricacies of systems and theories, often developing innovative solutions to complex problems. This intellectual depth, combined with your ability to think outside of the box, sets you apart in both personal and professional spheres. So, based on this, you were 88% introverted, 68% intuitive, 51% thinking, 61% prospecting, and 86% turbulent. Okay, let me write those down. So 88% introverted, 68% intuitive, 68% intuitive, 51% thinking, 61% prospecting, and 86% turbulent. Okay, so we're on to the final test now. This one is the HEXACO personality inventory. Okay, are you ready? Okay. Do apologise, you just have to go through an acknowledgement. Okay, the answers again are strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, strongly disagree. Okay, so I would be quite bored by a visit to an art gallery. I clean my office or home quite frequently. Okay. I rarely hold a grudge, even against people who have badly wronged me. I feel reasonably satisfied with myself overall. I would feel afraid if I had to travel in bad weather conditions. If I want something from a person I dislike, I will act very nicely towards that person in order to get it. Okay. I am interested in learning about the history and politics of other countries. When working, I often set ambitious goals for myself. People sometimes tell me that I am too critical of others. I rarely express my opinions in group meetings. Okay. I sometimes can't help worrying about little things. If I knew that I would never get caught, I would be willing to steal £1 million. Pounds. It says dollars, pounds. Okay. I would like a job that requires following a routine rather than being creative. I often check my work over repeatedly to find any mistakes. People sometimes tell me that I'm too stubborn. I avoid making small talk with people. When I suffer from a painful experience, I need someone to make me feel comfortable. Having a lot of money is not especially important for me. I can repeat. Having a lot of money is not especially important to me. I think that paying attention to radical ideas is a waste of time. I make decisions based on the feeling of the moment rather than on careful thought. People think of me as someone who has a quick temper. I'm energetic nearly all of the time. I feel like crying when I see other people crying. I am an ordinary person who is no better than others. Okay. This is an attentiveness check. Please indicate strongly agree. I don't understand the question, I do apologise. I'm assuming that it's just making sure that you follow instructions. Okay. I wouldn't spend my time reading a book of poetry. I plan ahead and organise things to avoid scrambling at the last minute. My attitude towards people who have treated me badly is forgive and forget. I can read it again. My attitude towards people who have treated me badly is forgive and forget. Okay. I think that most people like some aspects of my personality. I don't mind doing jobs that involve dangerous work. I wouldn't use flattery to get a raise or promotion at work, even if I thought I would succeed. Okay, keeping going. I enjoy looking at maps of different places. I often push myself very hard when trying to achieve a goal. I generally accept people's faults without complaining about them. In social situations, I'm usually the one who makes the first move. I worry a lot less than most people do. I would be tempted to buy stolen property if I were financially tight. I would enjoy creating a work of art such as a novel, a song, or a painting. When working on something, I don't pay much attention to small details. I am usually quite flexible in my opinions when people disagree with me. I enjoy having lots of people around to talk with. Okay. I can handle difficult situations without needing emotional support from anyone else. I would like to live in a very expensive, high-class neighbourhood. I like people who have unconventional views. I make a lot of mistakes because I don't think before I act. I rarely feel anger even when people treat me quite badly. On most days, I feel cheerful and optimistic. When someone I know well is unhappy, I can almost feel that person's pain myself. I wouldn't want people to treat me as though I was superior to them. If I had the opportunity, I would like to attend a classical musical concert. This is an attentiveness check. Please indicate neutral. So I think that these questions are either to see how submissive you are when following directions, or it's maybe just to check that you're actually paying attention to the questions and not just randomly choosing. People often joke with me about the messiness of my room or desk. Okay, let's keep going. We're just under halfway. This one is probably the longest questionnaire. If someone has cheated me once, I will always feel suspicious of that person. I feel that I am an unpopular person. When it comes to physical danger, I'm very fearful. If I want something from someone, I will laugh at the person's worst jokes. I would be very bored by a book about the history of science and technology. Often when I set a goal, I end up quitting without having reached it. I tend to be lenient in judging other people. When I'm in a group of people, I am often the one who speaks on behalf of the group. I rarely, if ever, have trouble sleeping due to stress or anxiety. I would never accept a bribe, even if it were very large. Okay. People have often told me that I have a good imagination. I always try to be accurate in my work, even at the expense of time. When people tell me that I'm wrong, my first reaction is to argue with them. I prefer jobs that involve active social interaction to those that involve working alone. Okay, I prefer jobs that involve active social interaction to those that involve working alone. Whenever I feel worried about something, I want to share my concern with another person. I would like to be seen driving around in a very expensive car. I think of myself as somewhat an eccentric person. I don't allow my impulses to govern my behaviour. Most people tend to get angry more quickly than I do. People often tell me that I should try to cheer up. Okay. I feel strong emotions when someone close to me is going away for a long time. I think I am entitled to more respect than the average person is. Okay. Sometimes I like to just watch the wind as it blows through the trees. When working, I sometimes have difficulties due to being disorganised. This is an attentiveness check. Please indicate to strongly disagree. I find it hard to fully forgive someone who has done something mean to me. I sometimes feel that I'm a worthless person. Even in an emergency, I wouldn't feel like panicking. I wouldn't pretend to like someone just to get that person to do favours for me. I never really enjoyed looking through an encyclopedia. I do only the minimum amount of work needed to get by. Okay. Even when people make a lot of mistakes, I rarely say anything negative. I tend to feel quite self-conscious when speaking in front of a group of people. I get very anxious when waiting to hear about an important decision. I know, it's quite a long one. You're doing really well. Okay, just keep going with it. I'd be tempted to use counterfeit money if I were sure to get away with it. I don't think of myself as the artistic or creative type. People often call me a perfectionist. I find it hard to compromise with people when I really think I'm right. The first thing that I always do in a new place is to make friends. I rarely discuss my problems with other people. I would get a lot of pleasure from owning expensive luxury goods. Okay. I find it boring to discuss philosophy. I prefer to do whatever comes to mind rather than stick to a plan. I find it hard to keep my temper when people insult me. Most people are more upbeat and dynamic than I generally am. I remain unemotional, even in situations where most people get very sentimental. Yeah, okay. I remain unemotional, even in situations where most people get very sentimental. I want people to know that I am an important person of high status. Okay. I have sympathy for people who are less fortunate than I am. I try to give generously to those in need. It wouldn't bother me to harm someone I didn't like. People see me as a hard-hearted person. Okay. If for any reason your responses do not reflect your own personality, please let us know. My responses do or don't? They do? Good. Have you previously completed the online HEXACO on this website? No? Okay. Let's pop in your Myers-Briggs. So it was INTP. INTP? Yes, INTP. INTP. Okay. When you look at the MBTI, you may also have been given a fifth letter indicating whether you are A or T. If so, please indicate your result. So you were a T. Okay, we've just got to fill out your information now. So you were 33. Which country do you most belong to? So where do you live, or citizenship, or where were you born that you resonate with most? Okay. What's your biological sex? Which identity applies to you? How would you describe your sexual orientation? If English is not your first language, how would you rate your ability to understand? Okay. Which of the following describes your ethnic background? Okie dokie, where is that? Yeah, okay. What is the highest level of education you've completed? Is that right? Yes, okay. How religious would you consider yourself to be? 1 being not at all, and 7 being extremely. Okay. What is your religious background? How religious was your upbringing? Okay. How would you describe your political orientation? So 1 being very left wing, 7 being very right wing. Amazing. What is your current marital status? Okay. Which of the following describes your position in the household in which you grew up? So the only child, the oldest child, youngest child, or middle child? When you were a child, how many children, including yourself, were raised together in your household? Who primarily raised you? Okay. If you completed or are currently attending a post-secondary education, which of the fields describes your major? So is it health sciences, biological sciences, engineering, physical sciences or mathematics, business and e-commerce, social sciences, visual and performing arts, humanities, or not applicable? Okay. Okay, here are your results. Okie dokie. So we have, let me take a screenshot of this to add to our form just because it's going to be quite detailed. So we have honesty and humility, emotionality, extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness. Okay, so in terms of honesty and humility, you are on the 10th percentile. So let me tell you what the percentiles mean. The percentiles indicate the percentage of respondents whose scores are below a given number. So if 10% of respondents are below the 10th percentile, 50% of respondents are below the 50th percentile, and 90% of respondents are below the 90th percentile. So the 50th percentile is the most typical average respondent. So the scores are calculated okay, so a higher score is not necessarily better. People differ in their views about the ideal level of a given personality trait. So the higher end and the lower end is arbitrary, depending on how you feel it is. So for example, if your anxiety would be on the higher percentile, obviously most people would see that as a negative, whereas flexibility being on the highest could be seen as a good thing, but it being on a lower percentage could also be seen as a good thing because it means that you are sort of rigid and sturdy with the way that you work. Does that make sense? Okay. So, for honesty and humility, you scored on the 10th percentile. So you mostly, your most strongest trait based on that was modesty. Emotionality, you were on way above the 90th percentile, mostly with anxiety and dependence. Your extroversion was below the 10th percentile. You most struggle with social self-esteem and sociability. Your agreeableness was also below the 10th percentile, but your strongest was flexibility and patience. Your conscientiousness was around the 50th percentile, mostly with perfectionism, organisation and diligence. And then finally, openness. You were between the 50th and the 90th percentile. You seem like a very open person, especially when it comes to creativity, appreciation and unconventionality as well. Okay, so that is the 3 tests done. Let me just write down the notes for the HEXACO one. HEXACO testing, and I'm going to just add the screenshot in there. Where are we? There we go. Okay, all done. So that's all of your testing done. We've done the DISC the HEXACO and the Myers-Briggs, what I can do is I can send you these personality types over, these results, so that you can study them for yourself, save you doing the tests at home on your own again. But as we always like to say, these testings are purely for fun. They are not widely used within the psychology field these days, just because we tend to take it on a person-by-person basis in terms of assessing, but they do reveal some sort of insight into who we see ourselves as and the way we behave. Okay? Alright, well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in today. And can I just get your email to send them over to? Thank you. Yep. And is that .com or .co.uk? .com. Fab. So I'll get those sent over to you. And if we need any more info, I'll send an email as well to see if we can get you back in. Alright, it's been a pleasure. Bye bye.